2026 Libra Love Forecast. Your year of balanced romance and deep soul connections. Picture this. It's a warm evening in late September 2026. You're getting ready for a date. But this isn't just any date. This is the kind of date where you know, deep in your bones, that your life is about to change. You check your reflection one more time, and the person looking back at you isn't the same Libra who started this year. That person was still healing, still searching, still trying to find balance between their needs and everyone else's. But you found it. This isn't fantasy, Libra. This is your actual potential for 2026. The universe is orchestrating a love story for you, but not the fairy tale kind where someone completes you. No, this is better. This is the story where you complete yourself first, and then attract someone who complements that wholeness. So settle in, light a candle, pour yourself something lovely, and let me take you on a journey through your romantic year. Month by month, heartbeat by heartbeat, we're going to explore how 2026 transforms you from someone seeking love to someone embodying it. And trust me, by the end of this story, you'll understand why this might just be the most beautiful year of your life. The stage is set. Why the universe is writing you a love story. Let me paint you a picture of the cosmic forces at play. Imagine Venus, your ruling planet, the goddess of love herself, as a director who's been watching your romantic journey for years, taking notes, understanding what you truly need versus what you think you want. She's tired of watching you settle. She's done seeing you dim your light to make others comfortable. She's over witnessing you prioritize harmony over authenticity. So in 2026, she's staging intervention, and it's wrapped in rose petals and moonlight. Venus will grace your chart with her presence multiple times this year, each visit bringing a different gift. Sometimes she'll bring romance, yes, but other times she'll bring something even more valuable: clarity, the ability to see people as they truly are, not as you hope they could be. Then there's Mars, passionate and direct, teaching you that sometimes love requires courage. That vulnerability isn't weakness. That asking for what you need doesn't make you demanding. It makes you honest. And Jupiter? Oh, Jupiter is expanding your capacity for love in ways you can't imagine yet. He's widening your heart, deepening your understanding, and most importantly, helping you recognize that you are worthy of the kind of love you've been giving everyone else. The stage is set. The cosmic romance is written. Now, let's tell the story of how you become both the lover and the beloved. Act 1. Winter's awakening scene. A quiet apartment, candles burning. Our Libra protagonist sits alone on New Year's Eve, journal open, writing a letter to their future self about love. January arrives with a question you can't ignore anymore. What do you actually want? Not what your parents want for you. Not what your friends think you should want. Not what romance novels and movies told you to want. But you. What does your soul crave in partnership? I want you to imagine yourself on January 10th. You're sitting in your favorite cafe, the one with the good lighting and the comfortable chairs, and you're making a list. Not a list of qualities in a partner. You've made those before and they never work. No, this is different. This is a list of how you want to feel in love. Safe, seen, celebrated, challenged, peaceful, excited, chosen, free. As you write these words, something shifts. You realize you've been approaching love backward. You've been looking for someone who makes you feel these things, when what you actually need is to cultivate these feelings within yourself first. Scene, a therapist's office. Our protagonist is talking, hands gesturing gracefully. I think I've been looking for someone to balance me instead of balancing myself. By late January, you make a decision that changes everything. You're taking a break from dating. Not forever, just for a season. February and March, you decide, will be about falling in love with yourself. Old Libra would panic at this decision. Being alone, choosing solitude, that goes against every partnership-oriented bone in your body. But something has shifted. You're curious about who you are when you're not trying to be what someone else needs. February is strange and beautiful and sometimes lonely. You go to the movies alone and discover you actually prefer it. You take yourself to nice restaurants and realize you're excellent company. You start conversations with strangers without the pressure of it being a potential romantic connection, and those conversations are lighter, freer, more authentic. Scene, a bookstore. Our Libra is browsing, completely absorbed. Someone is watching them from across the store, captivated by how present they seem. On February 14th, Valentine's Day, you do something radical. You buy yourself flowers. Expensive ones. The kind you usually wait for someone else to buy you. You arrange them carefully in a vase. And as you do, you make a promise to yourself. Never again will you wait for someone else to give you the love you can give yourself. That night, you post a photo of the flowers with a caption about self-love. You expect maybe a handful of likes. Instead, your phone explodes. Messages from friends saying I needed this. Comments from acquaintances saying this is so inspiring. And one DM from someone you vaguely know. This is the most attractive thing I've ever seen. Someone who loves themselves completely. You smile, but you don't respond. Not yet. You're not ready. But you save the message. Act 2. Spring's preparation scene, a yoga class. Our Libra is in tree pose, perfectly balanced. For the first time in months, they're not thinking about anyone else. Just breathing. Just being. March brings a different kind of awakening. Your self-love practice is deepening. And with it comes an unexpected gift. Standards. Real ones. Not the superficial checklist kind, tall, successful, funny, but the soul-deep kind. You realize you will no longer accept love that feels like walking on eggshells, relationships where you do all the emotional labor, partners who love your giving but resent your needs, connections that require you to shrink, romance that looks good on paper but feels empty in person, and you will no longer offer pieces of yourself while hiding the whole agreement when you actually disagree, silence. When you need to speak, endless patience with repeated disrespect, your peace in exchange for someone else's comfort scene. A coffee date with a friend. You seem different, they say. Our Libra smiles. I am different. I remember who I was before I learned to people please. By mid-March, something interesting happens. People start noticing you differently. Not because you changed your appearance, but because you changed your energy. You're taking up space now. Speaking your truth, saying no without over-explaining, and paradoxically, you're more magnetic than ever. An ex texts in late March, I miss you, can we talk? Old Libra would have responded immediately, heart racing, hope blooming. This Libra reads the message, takes a breath, and really checks in. Do I miss them, or do I miss being chosen? Do I want them back, or do I just hate the idea of them moving on first? You sit with these questions for 2 days. The answer becomes clear. You don't miss them. You miss the version of yourself who believed love meant accepting less than you deserved. But that version is gone now. You delete the message. You don't block them. That would be reactive. You simply let it go. And in that letting go, you free up space for something new. Scene. April 1st. A dating app notification. Our Libra has re-downloaded it, but with different energy. The bio reads, looking for partnership, not completion. Already whole. April brings you back into the dating world, but you're a different player now. You swipe with discernment. You don't match with people just because they're attractive. You read profiles looking for substance, humor, self-awareness, emotional intelligence. Your first date back is with someone named Alex. They're interesting on paper. Good job. Traveled extensively, great photos. The date is fine. Pleasant conversation. No awkward silences. Genuine laughter. At the end, they lean in for a kiss. You turn your cheek. I had a nice time, you say. But I'm not feeling the spark I'm looking for. Old Libra would have kissed them anyway to avoid awkwardness. Would have agreed to a second date out of guilt. Would have worried about hurting their feelings more than honoring your own truth. But this Libra, you smile, hug them goodbye, and walk away with your head high. And you know what? It feels incredible. This is what self-respect tastes like. Scene. Late April. A spring evening. Our Libra is at an art gallery opening. They're looking at a painting when someone says, beautiful, isn't it? The voice makes them turn around. April 28th. You'll remember this date. You're at an art gallery. Not because you're looking for love, but because you actually love art. You're standing in front of a painting that moves you, really studying it. When someone speaks beside you, you turn. And there's something in this moment. Not love at first sight, that's too simple. But recognition, like your soul saying, oh, there you are. Their name is Jordan. You talk about the painting, then about art in general, then about everything. The conversation flows like water, natural and easy, but with depth. You're not performing. You're not trying to be charming. You're just yourself, and they seem captivated by that self. When the gallery closes, you exchange numbers. As you walk to your car, you realize your hands are shaking slightly. Not from nervousness, from possibility. Act 3. Summer's unfolding scene. A series of dates, each one revealing new layers. Coffee shops, bookstores, concerts, midnight walks. Our Libra is laughing more than they have in years. May unfolds like a flower, slow and intentional and breathtakingly beautiful. You and Jordan are dating, but it's different from anything you've experienced before. They text you good morning, but not in the love-bombing way. It's genuine. Hope your presentation goes well today. You're going to be amazing. They make plans and keep them. When they say, let's meet at 7, they show up at 6:55. When they say they'll call, they call. This reliability, you've never had it before, and you didn't realize how much you needed it. But here's what's really different. They're interested in you. The real you, not the curated, palatable version. They ask about your childhood, your dreams, your fears. They want to know what makes you cry, what makes you laugh until your stomach hurts, what you think about when you can't sleep. Scene, a picnic in the park. Jordan is asking about our Libra's past relationships. What have you learned about what you need in partnership? Mid-May brings a conversation that tests everything. Jordan asks about your past relationships. You could lie, gloss over, present the sanitized version, but something in their eyes, the genuine curiosity, the lack of judgment, makes you brave. I have a pattern, you admit. I choose people who need fixing, and I lose myself trying to fix them. You wait for them to run. Instead, they nod slowly. Thank you for trusting me with that, they say. And I want you to know, I'm not here to be fixed. I'm here to be partnered with. Big difference. You feel something crack open in your chest. This is what emotional safety feels like. But May isn't all romantic bliss. There's a moment of terror when you realize how much you're starting to feel for Jordan. The old fear rises up. What if you're repeating patterns? What if you're seeing what you want to see instead of what's real? What if you give your heart and they break it? Scene late night. Our Libra is on the phone with their best friend. Voice shaking. What if I'm falling too fast? What if I'm making the same mistakes? Your best friend listens, then asks the questions that matter. Do you feel like yourself with them? Can you say no? Can you disagree? Can you be messy and imperfect? Or are you performing again? You think about it. Last week, you and Jordan had different opinions about a movie. You said so. They didn't get defensive. You both explained your perspectives, learned something, moved on. No drama. 2 days ago, you were tired and canceled plans. Jordan said, thank you for honoring your needs. Rain check. No guilt trip. Yesterday, you cried in front of them about something unrelated to the relationship. They held you. Didn't try to fix it. Just held you. I can be myself, you realize. Completely myself. And they seem to love that version even more. June brings a deepening that's both thrilling and terrifying. You meet Jordan's friends. They meet yours. The integration is beginning. The slow weaving of lives together. Scene. A dinner party with friends. Everyone is coupled up. Our Libra watches Jordan across the table, animated, telling a story. They catch our Libra's eye and wink, heart flutter. One night in late June, after a dinner party with friends, you're driving home together. Jordan is in the passenger seat, and out of nowhere they say, I'm falling in love with you. I don't need you to say it back. I just needed you to know. Your heart stops, then starts again, faster. You pull over, because this moment deserves your full attention. I'm scared, you admit. I've said those words before and meant them, and it wasn't enough. I've loved people with everything I had, and they still left. Jordan takes your hand. I know, and I can't promise I'll never hurt you, but I can promise I'll never leave without fighting for us first. I can promise to show up even when it's hard. I can promise that your needs matter as much as mine. Is that enough? You look at them, really look at the sincerity in their eyes, the openness in their expression, the slight nervousness in how they're holding their breath. I'm falling too, you whisper, and it terrifies me, but I'm not running. The kiss that follows tastes like surrender and bravery in equal measure. Act 4. Summer's testing scene. The first real fight. Raised voices. Frustrated gestures. Our Libra is crying, but they're not leaving. They're staying and working through it. July brings the first real conflict, and it's about something small that represents something big. Jordan made plans without checking with you first. You had a rare evening off, had been looking forward to spending it together, and they committed to their friend's birthday party. Old Libra would have said, "It's fine. Go have fun." While simmering with resentment, this Libra says, "I need to talk about this. I'm hurt that you didn't check with me first. I feel like an afterthought." Jordan gets defensive initially. "I can't check with you about everything. I need my own life." This is the moment. The pattern could repeat here. You could back down, apologize, make yourself smaller. Instead, you breathe. "I'm not asking you to check about everything. I'm asking you to consider me in significant plans." There's a difference between independence and disregard. Seen hours later, both sitting on the couch, exhausted but still there. Jordan speaks first. "You're right. I should have asked. I'm sorry." The fight resolves not because you won or they won, but because you both chose the relationship over being right. Jordan acknowledges the hurt. You acknowledge their need for independence. You find a compromise. Major social plans get discussed, smaller ones don't. But here's what's revolutionary. You fought, and the relationship didn't end. They didn't leave. You didn't leave. The conflict brought you closer, not further apart. This is what healthy love looks like, and it's so unfamiliar it almost hurts. August brings a different kind of test. The ex situation. Not your ex, Jordan's. They get a text from an ex-partner who wants closure. Jordan shows you the text immediately. Asks what you think. Scene, our Libra's apartment. Jordan showing their phone. "I'll do whatever makes you comfortable. My past is past, but you're my present." Old Libra would have said yes immediately, proving how cool and understanding they are, then spent days spiraling in insecurity. This Libra checks in with themselves first. "How do I actually feel about this? I think you should meet them," you say slowly. "But I need you to be clear with them, that you're in a relationship. And I need you to tell me how it goes, not because I don't trust you, but because secrets create distance." Jordan looks at you with something like awe. You're so secure in yourself. It's incredibly attractive. You laugh. "I'm not always. But I'm learning that pretending to be okay with things that bother me doesn't protect the relationship. It poisons it." Jordan meets their ex. It goes fine. They get their closure. Jordan reiterates that they've moved on. Everyone leaves cordial but clear. Jordan tells you about it that evening, holding nothing back. And you know what? You believe them. You trust them. Not blindly, but with the kind of trust that's earned through consistent honesty. By the end of August, you've been together for 4 months. It's still new, but it feels solid, like a foundation being poured. Not the whole house yet, but something strong to build on. Scene, a sunset beach walk. Jordan stops, turns to face our Libra. "I know it's early, but I need you to know, I see a future with you. A real one." Act 5. Autumn's deepening scene. Moving boxes in both apartments. They're not moving in together yet, but they're making space for each other in their lives. Closet space, drawer space, heart space. September, your month, Libra, brings a kind of balance you've never experienced in love before. The scales aren't tipping wildly from independence to codependence. They're finding equilibrium. You maintain your separate lives, your friends, your hobbies, your alone time, while building a shared life. Jordan joins your book club. You go to their nephew's soccer games. You're weaving together without tangling. On your birthday, Jordan plans something that shows they truly see you. Not a big, flashy, Instagram-worthy event, something intimate. A private art class where you create something together, followed by dinner at that restaurant you mentioned once in passing 3 months ago. Seeing the art class. Both of you are terrible at painting, laughing at your attempts. The instructor leaves you alone. Jordan leans over, kisses our Libra's paint-splattered cheek. "I love you," Jordan says. Not the curated version you show the world. All of you, even the parts you think are too much or not enough. You put down your paintbrush. "I love you too. And I'm learning that loving you doesn't mean losing me." September is also when you meet Jordan's family. This is big. They're close with their family, and their opinion matters. You're nervous. But Jordan squeezes your hand before you walk in. Just be yourself, they say. That's who I fell in love with. The family dinner goes well. Not perfect. Jordan's mother asks questions that feel a bit like an interrogation, and their younger sibling makes a joke at your expense that lands wrong. But Jordan defends you, gently but firmly. Hey, that's not cool. Apologize to them. Scene. Driving home from the family dinner. Our Libra is quiet. Jordan asks, "What are you thinking?" "No one's ever defended me like that before," you say quietly. "I've always been the one smoothing things over, making sure everyone's comfortable. You protected me." Jordan looks over, surprised. "Of course I did. We're partners. That's what partners do." You realize then how low your bar has been, how much you've accepted in the name of keeping peace. And you make a vow, never again. October brings a conversation about the future. Not marriage necessarily. It's too soon for that, but trajectory. Are you heading in the same direction? You talk about kids, about where you want to live, about career ambitions, financial values, how you handle conflict, what family means to you. Scene, a rainy Sunday morning, coffee in bed, laptop open to a shared document titled, Our Vision. They're building a future together, intentionally. You're not just falling into a relationship, hoping it works out. You're consciously creating one, having the hard conversations early, making sure your foundations are solid. There's a moment in mid-October when Jordan says something that shakes you. "I want you to keep your own bank account, even if we get married someday. I want you to always have your own money, your own independence. I never want you to feel trapped." You almost cry. Every past partner has wanted to merge everything. Proof of commitment, they said. But Jordan understands that interdependence is healthier than codependence, that you can be a unit while remaining individuals. This is grown-up love, conscious love, the kind that lasts. Act 6. Winter's commitment scene. A cold November evening. They're cooking dinner together, moving around the kitchen in a dance they've perfected, music playing, wine breathing. This is home. November brings an interesting development. You're not just in love anymore. You're building a life. The romance is still there. Flowers for no reason, spontaneous kisses, long conversations that stretch into dawn, but there's also laundry and grocery shopping, and whose turn it is to take out the trash. And somehow you love this too. The mundane intimacy of partnership, the way Jordan remembers you hate doing dishes, so they always do them without being asked. The way you set up the coffee maker at night, so it's ready when Jordan wakes up. Scene, Jordan's apartment. Our Libra is sick with the flu. Jordan is making soup, bringing tea, not complaining about the germs or the canceled plans. Mid-November, you get really sick, like, properly ill. And this is when you see who someone really is. When you're not attractive, not fun, not the partner showing up at their best. Jordan takes care of you, without hesitation. Brings you soup, changes your sheets when you're feverish and sweaty, holds your hair when you're nauseous, doesn't complain, doesn't keep score, just loves you through it. When you try to apologize for ruining their week, they look genuinely confused. This is what love is. Showing up for the unsexy parts. Anyone can be there for the good times. You fall deeper in that moment than you did during any romantic date. By late November, you're having serious conversations about timeline. Not rushing, but being honest about what you both want. Jordan suggests moving in together by spring. Your lease is up in April. It makes sense logically, but emotionally? Scene, therapy session. Our Libra is processing with their therapist. What if moving in together changes things? What if I lose myself again? Your therapist asks the questions that help you find your own answers. Have you been losing yourself in this relationship? Has Jordan asked you to change? Or are you changing because you want to grow? You realize you're not losing yourself, you're expanding yourself. There's a difference. You tell Jordan yes, not out of fear of losing them if you say no, but because you genuinely want to wake up next to them every morning. December arrives, bringing both joy and challenge. The holidays mean family, tradition, pressure. Jordan's family assumes you'll spend Christmas with them. Your family assumes the opposite. Old Libra would have tried to please everyone, stretching yourself impossibly thin. Scene, a calm conversation. Are Libra and Jordan making a plan together? What if we do Christmas Eve with your family? Christmas Day with mine and New Year's just us. You advocate for what you need. Jordan listens. Together, you create a plan that honors both families while protecting your relationship. Neither family is thrilled, but both accept it. And here's the beautiful thing. You're okay with them not being thrilled. You're finally choosing your relationship over everyone else's comfort. This is growth. On December 23rd, Jordan gives you an early Christmas present. It's a key to their apartment. Symbolic, since you're moving in soon anyway. But attached to it is a note. This key represents trust, access to my space, my life, my heart. But more than that, I'm trusting you to keep your own keys too, to your own identity, your own dreams, your own self. I don't want you to lose yourself in us. I want us to be two whole people choosing each other every day. I love you, all of you, always. Scene New Year's Eve, not at a party but at home. They're on the couch, our Libra's head on Jordan's chest, talking about the year that was and the year to come. As midnight approaches on December 31st, you think about the journey. You started this year alone, healing, learning to love yourself. You ended in partnership, but still whole, still yourself, maybe even more yourself than before. What are you thinking? Jordan asks, playing with your hair. I'm thinking that a year ago, I thought I needed someone to complete me, you say. And now I know, I needed to complete myself. You don't complete me, Jordan. You compliment me. And that's so much better. They kiss your forehead. Happy New Year, love. The clock strikes midnight. Fireworks explode outside. And you think, this is what I was waiting for. Not a perfect person, but the right person. Not someone to save me, but someone to partner with. Not love that consumes, but love that elevates. You started 2026 seeking balance in love. You and having found it, not because someone else balanced you, but because you learned to balance yourself and found someone who respects that balance. The moral of the story, your love superpowers. Here's what this year taught you about being a Libra in love. Your need for harmony isn't weakness. It's a gift. When it doesn't come at the cost of your truth, you learn to create harmony by being authentic, not by people-pleasing. Real peace comes from honest communication, not artificial agreement. Your partnership orientation is your strength. When you partner with yourself first, you can be relationship-focused without being relationship-dependent. The best partnerships are two whole people choosing each other, not two halves hoping to make a whole. Your ability to see all sides can guide you to the right choice, not paralyze you with indecision. You learn to gather perspective, then trust your gut. Analysis is valuable, but at some point, you have to leap. Your aesthetic appreciation extends beyond art to the art of relationship. You create beauty in love through thoughtful gestures, kind words, intentional care. This is valuable. Your partners are lucky to experience your love. Your desire for fairness is valid, as long as you include yourself in that fairness. You spent years giving 80% and accepting 20% in return, calling it balance. Now you know. Reciprocity is balance. Equality is balance. You deserve 50-50, or you deserve to walk away. The love lessons that changed everything. Let's recap the specific realizations that transformed your love life. January, February. Self-love is the foundation. You learn that you can't sustainably give what you don't have. Loving yourself isn't selfish. It's essential. You filled your own cup first, and that overflow became available for genuine partnership. March, April. Standards aren't walls. They're filters. Having requirements doesn't make you picky or difficult. It makes you self-aware. You learn the difference between standards and walls. Standards let the right people in while keeping the wrong people out. May, June. Vulnerability is strength. You discover that showing your real self, messy, imperfect, complicated, doesn't scare away the right person. It attracts them. Authenticity is magnetic. Pretending is exhausting and ultimately dooms the relationship. July, August. Conflict can be constructive. You learn that disagreement doesn't equal disaster. Healthy couples fight. They just fight fair, repair quickly, and grow closer through it. Conflict is information about what matters to each person. September, October. Partnership is intentional. Love isn't just a feeling that happens to you. It's a choice you make every day. Successful relationships are built consciously, through communication, compromise, and commitment to growth. November, December. Commitment is freedom, not trap you. Realize that the right partnership doesn't limit you, it liberates you. When you're with someone who celebrates your individuality, commitment feels like coming home, not giving up freedom. Red flags you'll never ignore again this year taught you what to run from. Anyone who needs you to shrink so they can feel big. Partners who say they want communication, but punish you for being honest. Love that feels conditional on your performance, mood, or usefulness. Relationships where you're doing all the emotional labor. People who weaponize your kindness or call your boundaries mean. Anyone who makes you choose between them and yourself. Partners who love your giving but resent your receiving. Relationships that feel peaceful only when you're silent. Anyone who promises change but never takes action. Love that requires you to abandon your values. Green flags you're prioritizing now and what you're actively seeking. Someone who loves you more when you're authentic, not less. Partners who keep their word consistently, not just when it's convenient. Relationships where both people feel safe to be vulnerable. Someone who repairs ruptures quickly and sincerely. Partners who celebrate your wins without jealousy. Relationships with reciprocal effort, care, and consideration. Someone who respects your no as much as they enjoy your yes. Partners who protect you in front of others. Relationships where you can disagree without it being a disaster. Someone who shows love in actions, not just words. Your single Libra journey in 2026 for Libras not yet in relationship. Here's your story. If you're starting 2026 single, your journey is different but equally transformative. This is your year of becoming the partner you've been seeking. January-April is your era of self-discovery. You're not avoiding dating out of fear. You're intentionally building a relationship with yourself. You're learning what you like, not what you think you should like. You're exploring who you are outside of partnership. By spring, you're dating again, but selectively. You're not settling for the first person who shows interest. You're not convincing yourself someone is right when your gut says they're wrong. You're trusting your instincts. May-August brings interesting people into your orbit. Some become friends. Some are good dates but no chemistry. One or two might be real possibilities. You're exploring without pressure, enjoying the process instead of racing to the outcome. You might have a summer fling that teaches you about pleasure without commitment, or a brief relationship that ends amicably and shows you what you do and don't want. Every connection is information. September-December is when things potentially get serious with someone. Or you end the year still single, but so much more clear about what you're looking for. Both outcomes are success. Being single with clarity is better than being coupled with confusion. The key is, you're not waiting for love to start your life. You're living fully now. And if love joins you on that journey, wonderful. If not, you're still whole. Your coupled Libra journey in 2026 for Libras already in relationship. Here's your story. If you're starting 2026 already partnered, this year is about depth, about moving from infatuation or habit into conscious, committed love. January-April asks you to assess, honestly, is this relationship bringing out your best self or requiring you to hide parts of yourself? The answer determines everything. If the relationship is healthy, you're deepening it, having harder conversations, integrating lives more fully, planning a future together with intention. If the relationship is struggling, you're being honest about that. Maybe it needs work, and you both commit to couples therapy. Maybe it's run its course, and the kindest thing is to end it. Either way, you're choosing truth over comfort. May-August is when healthy relationships level up. You might move in together, get engaged, or simply commit to each other more deeply. The milestone matters less than the mutual investment. For struggling relationships, this is often when clarity comes. You either fix the core issues or admit you can't. Limbo ends. You choose in or out. September-December is harvest time. If you've done the work, the relationship feels solid, secure, joyful. You're planning holidays, maybe meeting extended family, talking about next steps. If you've chosen to leave, you're grieving but growing. You end the year single but wiser, ready for something better when the time comes. What you tell January you if you could go back to the beginning of this year. Here's what you'd say. Listen, I know you're scared. I know you've been hurt before, and you're terrified of being hurt again. I know you're exhausted from giving everything and receiving crumbs. I know you're wondering if you're too much, or not enough, or somehow fundamentally unlovable. But here's what I need you to understand. You are worthy of real love, not the kind you have to earn through perfect behavior, not the kind that requires you to dim your light, not the kind that feels like walking a tightrope. Real love, steady, honest, reciprocal, celebrating love, but you can't attract it while you're still accepting less than you deserve. You can't find it while you're still abandoning yourself to make others comfortable. You can't build it with someone who requires you to shrink. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to spend some time alone, not because you're giving up on love, but because you're finally committing to loving yourself first. You're going to figure out who you are outside of partnership. You're going to set standards and keep them. You're going to choose discomfort over dishonesty. And then, when you're whole within yourself, when you've learned that you can be alone without being lonely, when you finally know your worth, that's when love finds you. Or you find it. Same thing, really. It won't be perfect. There will be hard conversations and scary moments, and times you want to run back to old patterns. But it will be real. And real is so much better than the fantasy you've been settling for. So be patient, be brave, be honest. And most importantly, be yourself fully, unapologetically, magnificently yourself. The right person won't just accept that. They'll celebrate it. The plot twist. What comes next scene? January 1st, 2027. Our Libra wakes up next to Jordan. Either way, they're smiling. The story doesn't end at December 31st. Love isn't a destination you arrive at and then stop growing. It's a garden you tend forever. If you end 2026 in a relationship, 2027 is about maintenance and continued growth. It's about deepening intimacy while maintaining individuality, navigating new challenges together, keeping romance alive through mundane days, supporting each other's dreams, building a shared life, while honoring separate selves. If you end 2026 single, 2027 is about staying open while staying grounded. It's about continuing today intentionally, not settling out of loneliness or pressure, enjoying single life, fully trusting that the right person is finding their way to you, remaining whole, while making space for partnership. Either way, the foundation you built in 2026, self-love, clear standards, authentic communication, emotional honesty, that's permanent. That changes everything going forward. Epilogue. The balancing act scene. We return to where we started. That warm September evening. Our Libra getting ready for the date that changes everything. Or maybe getting ready to stay in, alone in content. Both are victories. You're standing in front of the mirror, and the person looking back is transformed. Not because you found someone to complete you, but because you completed yourself. Not because you became perfect, but because you became authentic. If Jordan is in your life, they walk up behind you, wrap their arms around you, kiss your neck. You look beautiful. You smile at both of your reflections. I feel beautiful, not because of how I look, but because of who I've become. If you're alone, you smile at yourself with genuine affection. You put on your favorite outfit, not to impress anyone else, but because it makes you happy. You light candles, pour wine, settle in for an evening with yourself, and you're excited about it. Either way, you think, I spent so many years looking for someone to balance me. And this year I learned, I am the balance. Two scales in perfect harmony, self-love and openness to love, independence and partnership, strength and vulnerability, me and us. Final scene. Walking out into the evening, whatever it holds, head high, heart open, completely, unapologetically yourself. The story continues, but you already know the ending. Not the details of who you'll be with or where you'll go, but something better. You know that whatever comes, you'll handle it. You know that you're worthy of real love. You know that you can be in partnership without losing yourself. And that knowledge, that's the real love story. Everything else is just details. So Libra, that's your love story. That's your blueprint for romantic transformation. That's your year of balanced, authentic, conscious love. Which part resonated most? Are you starting the year single and ready for self-love? Or partnered and ready to deepen? What lesson do you most need to learn? Share your love goals for 2026 in the comments. Tell me where you're starting and where you want to go. Let's build a community of Libras, choosing real love over comfortable illusions. And if this story touched your heart, if you saw yourself in it, if you're ready to write your own love transformation story, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. because love is always worth fighting for, especially love with yourself. Your 2026 love story starts now. And Libra, you're going to be amazing.